super excited because we are in the studio. When it's Saturday.
Yes.
I'm always having a good time on a Saturday. That means I didn't have to go to work today. So that's always a positive thing. But we got Logo in the building.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Hey. So what's been going on with you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Maybe if you followed along, I'm not sure. But I hiked the Appalachian Trail last year. So I picked up another nickname. They call me the Blackalachian now. If you follow along. If you're looking for me on Instagram, that's where to find me. So.
Did you wake up one day and you're like, hey, I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail?
Yeah, I put it on Facebook. I just put on there, I wonder if I could survive in the woods one day. And my cousin said, go hike the Appalachian Trail. I looked it up. And like 3 months later, that's where I was. Starting. Yeah.
And,
Well, my question is, how did you prepare yourself for that hike? Like, once you woke up and your cousin says, go hike this trail, did you just start, like, did you just Google stuff to bring with you, or did you just, like...
I watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm a fan of YouTube.
yeah, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I figured out kind of what I would need, so I went to REI and bought a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, 3 months later, there I was. I didn't do much like pre-hiking or nothing like that. I never camped, slept in a tent, nothing like that. Never really hiked before in my life, so.
That's what's crazy to me is that you can go from never having, like, doing something and then, I mean, that's a skill in itself, right?
It's kind of one foot after the other.
Yeah, it's true. But, I mean, to me, I've been looking at your journey and your YouTube videos, and being able to see your journey is really inspiring. So what is, like, the biggest lesson that you feel like you learned while hiking?
The biggest lesson, I don't know, man. You learn a lot of lessons. They just come every day. I mean, you get from that hike. I gotta restore faith in humanity, kind of thing. Cause like when you see all this social media type of stuff, which is another reason I hiked the trail in the first place, because it's just that overload of negative social media and just the world we live in today that you can't escape. So I just wanted to get far away from that for a minute. So, just the people that you meet along the way give you, they restore your faith in humanity. They help you out, and it's nothing you can do for them. They just coming out there just out of pure love, stuff like that, So that's one of the main lessons I learned out there. Like, it's people more good than bad, regardless of what you see out here,
Yeah. And that's
Oh, I'm sorry. When you talked about people that you met along the way, who was the person that stood out to you, who stood out to you along that journey?
That's hard to say, man. I met a lot of good people out there. Shout out to my peoples, Scott and Lyric Underwood. I met them like about 900 miles in on the hike, and just met them at the trailhead one day. They invited us to their house. They cooked us dinner. They let us stay at the house. They washed our clothes. Man, so it was just a nice time, man. And I kept in touch with them. I'm still in touch with them now. I talked them into starting like a hostel, which is like the place the hikers stay when they get to the little towns in between and resupply and stuff. And they started a hostel, and it's doing well, successful. So,
What? Yeah. Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about, because there is a lot of stuff that's going on where I feel like it needs to have more love and light. So tell us a little bit more about Love and Light.
Oh, man, Love and Light, man, that's my new gear company, man. I started because, that was basically the slogan I took, throughout my YouTube videos. So that's, kind of like my tagline, Love and Light. That's what we spreading out here, just positive, good vibes. I mean, like they always say, it take more muscles to frown than to do the smile. So you might as well, just live out here, I did a lot of living. It took me 190 days to hike that Appalachian Trail, and so it was a lot of living. It was a lot of freedom, So
Wow.
that's my gear company, though. You can find that loveandlightgear.storeenvy.com, or you can go to my, like I said, my Instagram page at the Blackalachian and find that as well.
So what is one thing that when you took with you that you absolutely had to have? during that journey?
Oh, my fishing pole.
Mm.
Because when I first was doing my pre-hike videos and I was putting them on YouTube, people was telling me, don't take a fishing pole or I would never catch a fish. But I was looking at other people's YouTube videos and I was seeing it was water there and on the videos. And I'm like, there's got to be fish there. So I carried that the whole way through and I caught fish just about in every state. So, yeah.
Do you know how much weight you lost? Did you lose a lot of weight?
Oh, I didn't lose a pound.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people lost like 30 pounds. That was the average, but I didn't lose a pound.
I'm telling you right now, I like to snack. So if I don't have snacks on the trail, like you said 190 days, like that's a long time.
But I don't know, I was eating like a pig though. You can eat kind of whatever you want, and you ain't never gonna gain a pound, that's for sure.
Yeah. Long days.
Yeah. Summer sausage and tuna and ramen and 5 pounds of M&Ms I would carry from time to time. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He said 5 pounds of M&Ms. So what is some advice that you would give, because I know you've been doing a lot of speaking engagements here and all over actually, but what is some advice that you would give new hikers?
Oh man, I would say don't pay attention to anybody. I would say go to REI or go to a local shop. Try to get just a small amount of advice. Make sure that you get the necessary items that you need to survive. But other than that, because you get a lot of experts that'll tell you need this and you need that, you need this certain type of thing, and that deters a lot of people from getting outdoors because they think it's super expensive. You want to know, and it's not. You can find an affordable way to get out and outdoors. So I would say, hike your own hike. That's a slogan that's well known out on the Appalachian Trail, and sometimes it could be a positive thing when they say it or a negative thing, but it's a good saying for me. Hike your own hike, because you got to find your own way.
Like, I told somebody today that I'm hiking pavements. That's as far as I'm going. Hiking pavement, sidewalk, whatever you want to call it. I'm not it's just too much out there. I respect it.
Yeah.
I have a CD that has 5 tracks, and I still listen to them.
Wow.
Like driving through, and I get excited. But the thing is that I think, and you can correct me, but whenever you take a journey like what you did, you're really doing a lot of self-reflection. And I feel like you also self-reflect through your music as well.
Sure.
So I thank you for sharing your gift and your love and your light with the world. So, but tell us more about what you're doing with talking to the kids. What advice are you giving to these kiddies?
Oh man, basically I'm telling them, always try to stand out from the crowd, be yourself. Don't worry about getting lost in that crowd. It's a bad bully era that we in right now, and I don't think the grown-ups understand how hard it is for these children out here in these schools and stuff. It's tough. So just telling them to be themselves, don't follow trends. Try to figure out what you want to do with yourself instead of what your parents or whoever else gonna tell you. You need to go to school and da da da. And as we've seen, everybody's coming out here with all this debt, and it works for some. It don't work as well as for others. But just try to find your own way and stay positive. Get out here in these outdoors, and stuff like that. And
So did you have a mentor growing up, or people that really influenced you? And if you did,
my older brothers, my stepfather Johnny Bailey, people like that. People in the community, Walt Robinson, that was my next door neighbor. I grew up, next to him. Linwood Crump used to take us golfing, things like that, who they renamed the Shiloh Center after. Mr. Gary Briggs, people like that. Just, we had a lot of role models, running around here. We just, being young knuckleheads, I wish we'd have listened a lot younger,
Well, and you were just you were speaking to some kids at the Shiloh Center. And so how was it to be back and to now be in a mentor role?
Oh man, it's like a complete 180. It's like, or full circle, however you want to describe it. I mean, I guess you could do both. It just felt real good, man, to be able to come back and try to give something back. I took a lot from the community out there doing stupid stuff. So it just felt good to be able to come give back, at least just try to share my story with the kids, hopefully and inspire at least 1 or 2 of them. They seemed interested, so I think it was a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, like I was saying during the break, I was camping when I was younger in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you make them little forts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of prepping. And I remember my mom used to be so mad because I would take the forks and then I would put marshmallows on them and put them over candles. And not very smart, you know, especially not the scented candles because then it comes out smelling like caramel apple. And you burn the forks. So I always got in trouble. But did you do any crazy stuff like
as a kid? Yeah, I definitely did that. But I used to just take somebody's lighter and I hit it with the lighter. But I definitely, you know, that's probably the extent of my camping before I hit the trail. So
okay,
definitely, you know, when like Are You Afraid of the Dark was on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. You know.
That was my show.
You know.
So what's next for you?
Oh man, in a couple months, I'm thinking September. I'm going to be biking the Underground Railroad Trail from Alabama to Canada.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I'm not coming with you, but I'll meet you at the end.
Yes, no, I'll meet you at the beginning. That's crazy. So do you have to, I mean, what is your training policy for that? Or you just like, I'm going to hop on this bike and I'm doing this?
Yeah, I rode a bike before. I used to ride bikes a lot as a kid around here, around these Asheville hills. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like they say, once you can ride a bike, you can always ride a bike. But I know it's, you know, I'm not taking it lightly. I don't want anybody that's a cyclist or something to hear this and be like, you know, just feel disrespected about their craft. But, you know, I think the best part about doing something is learning along the way, learning your mistakes. You know, I think that's the best teacher. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best because that is something that I, you know, I'm not doing it.
But I'm gonna meet you. Like I said, I'll meet you at the end. We'll go out and whatever.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's a long journey. Mm-hmm. Well, are you going to be recording along the way? I hope you're going to be documenting them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, the reason I chose to do this is because, you know, like, not being, you know, like I was one of the only people of color out there on the trail through hiking. So I just figured it was time to do a different hike. You know, try to inspire people a different way. So I feel like this may be a better way to do that. As far as like teaching some history about the Underground Railroad that I don't know and that we all need to know. So stopping off and, you know, maybe I'll make a day trip or so to Selma or something like that and record. And, you know, because some of these kids are not being introduced to that type of history. And I don't want it to be lost. And I wasn't even aware they had the Underground Railroad Trail until I started doing a little research.
Right.
You know, so I think it's just important for all of us to see and share that. You know.
Where can we find you? First of all, we need to tell everybody in Asheville where we can find you, follow you.
Well, man, you can follow me on all platforms at the Blackalachian. That's Instagram. I don't really do Twitter too much. On my YouTube, you can follow. You can go check out basically almost my entire journey on the Appalachian Trail. I pretty much recorded almost every single day until my battery ran out and all that kind of stuff. And you can find me there. As you can find my gear on loveandlightgear.storenvy.com. As of right now. Oh yeah. Also, I would like to tell y'all next Thursday, this coming Thursday, I will be at the Derrick Eddington Center. I think it starts around 6 or 7 o'clock. I haven't. You have to look at my social media for the exact time and date. The exact time that it starts. But I'll be doing a little speech there and talking to the folks of the community about my hike and my upcoming things that I got going on there. And also, I think the 28th, Saturday, July 28th, I'll be back up here to go out on a hike. You know, I'm inviting everybody to come out to Craggy Gardens for, you know, just a mile in hike, you know, mile back, you know, stop and do a little picnic halfway through or something, just to get out in the neighborhood, you know.
Nice.
And enjoy the outdoors.
What type of food? What? Because that.
Oh no, you know, BYOB.
Okay.
Bring your own food, just a little slight thing, because I don't want to buy a bunch of stuff and then nobody comes. You know what I mean? Because that's a little bit of a drive, you know, but it's worth it, you know. So I would encourage everybody to bring a couple liters of water, you know, and some snacks and stuff like that, a little sandwich or two, and come out here and enjoy some views with us, you know.
Oh, that's fun.
That is fun. That makes
might do some stretches.
It is.
See us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna slay the mountains.
Yeah, it's
Slay the
like,
mountains. That's what we're doing.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure, and I'm just so excited to see the growth of who you are, and I know it's just going to continue. And so after your next bicycle adventure, you're going to have to come back and talk to us about how that was.
Yeah, definitely. I really do appreciate you guys for having me on, taking the time out. I know you some busy folks. Y'all got them busy, you know. You got the #1 show right here going on in Asheville, so you know I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey.
Definitely.
Well, thank you, and we about to keep turning up.
Hey.
This is Tej featuring Lyric.